Okay, so I've set up now an end grain piece of wood. This is olive. Managed to score this a few blocks away locally. Very rare that I can get my hands on something like this. You'll notice that it's got splits in the end. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here. I'm going to show how the hollowing tool, the Clewes Mate 1, hollows this out, and we're going to use zombie green to fill those splits. Okay, so I'll show you how to use the synthetic sand using the super glue, the accelerator, and how that looks in the wood as well. So let's go. Okay, safety glasses, turn this up to it. I've got it dismounted in the chuck on a tenon, a good strong tenon. Okay, I'm just going to put a simple bit of shape in this. We'll turn it natural edge. Get through the bark first. Oh, you can hear that, there was a knot there. Clean this up. Okay, excellent. The splits go deep into there, so look, we're going to come from this side, move it to here, that to there, pick up the mate. Now I've got a centre point there. Well, actually, just check. Yes, it is. So the tool rest needs lifting a fraction, and basically with this natural edge, all you're going to do is the tool is going to follow the outside profile. Forget that the actual natural edge isn't round. It's round where you're cutting, okay? So come in and follow through and follow the outside profile with the tool itself.
Jimmy, I know you got two different tools. What's the difference between the Mate 1 and 2, and which would you use for this?
Okay, generally either would work. The difference between the two tools, the main difference is the cutter size. The Mate 1 has a 6mm cutter and the Mate 2 has an 8mm cutter. With the 8mm cutter you will get a slightly better finish because it's a bigger diameter, so you're going to get a slightly flatter surface. But however, and it will be slightly more aggressive. It will take a slightly bigger cut because there's a little bit more of the cutter sticking proud of the bar. But apart from that, they both cut the same. I'd probably use the bigger cutter on a bigger piece and the smaller cutter on a smaller piece. So basically that's it, mate. So let's switch this on. Now I'm not gonna take the middle first. I'm gonna come to here. Clean up that face. I'm coming up to the natural edge. Now the speed I'm turning at there is 1918. That's absolutely critical. If it's 20, you'll have a problem. Feed that tool in. Now I can take it down here. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what I've got here is the finished cut with the Clewes Mate tool. What we're going to do now is use the, I told you earlier, let me remind, the zombie green. What we need to do is to seal this wood first. Do not put the synthetic sand, then the glue on without it being sealed, because you'll stain the wood. So this is a shellac sealer. I get it from Lowe's, and it's Zinsser's Seal Coat. Wipe this on first, and that's going to pre-stain the wood as such, so that when we put the glue on, it's not going to stain the wood. We're going to use the super fast thin. So there we go, that's sufficient. Get the powder. Now notice I've taken the piece, I've left the piece in the chuck, but taken it off the lathe. And that allows me to set this in an angle, so I'm more or less horizontal, to put the powder into that split there. And I'll tell you what, we'll do that one, and let's spread it across into here. Now this powder's really, really fine. It's going to pick up any split or any scratch or anything on the surface, any little void. So wipe off the excess. Okay, so I've got the super glue, and I'm using a pipette to just drop the super glue on top of the powder. Put that there. Move this slightly. Don't worry about that super glue. I'm going to show you the technique to cut it back. The excess glue on the surface. So let's just do these two. That's there.
Now, one thing I was going to tell you about this stuff is, as you found out, it is a synthetic sand, so there's no silica in it.
Therefore,
so it doesn't dull your tools.
Doesn't dull your tools. Excellent. Yes, true. So now the super glue's in there. I've got the accelerator. What I'm going to do is come back here. Don't accelerate this if the glue is still wet and puddled, because it'll bubble up. You'll get that foamy effect, and it'll drag the synthetic sand back out of the splits. So come back here, give it a little hit, give it a minute or two. You'll see it just set off on the surface, and then there we go. That's all accelerated in. Just get rid of this, put this on the top. We're going to get rid of that, and put the chuck back on. Okay, so now get the lid on the powder. As I said, there's a huge range of colours, and I would rather accentuate the split. If you fill it with sawdust and glue, it looks like it's filled with sawdust and glue. Accentuate it, make a feature of it. So I'm going to move the tool rest to there. I'm going to change this out, change the ball gouge out, and we're going to put in a spindle gouge. Okay, the reason for that, if you use a ball gouge, it's got a deeper flute, and if you're putting it square on to the piece of wood, you're more likely to get a catch. A spindle gouge has a more shallow flute, and when you put it onto the piece of wood, it's a trailing edge, and therefore, like a cabinet scraper, it's not going to catch. So I'm going to switch this on, and I'm going to use the wing of the tool. I'm going to close it down and just do a little draw cut across that surface. The speed is about 2,400. Let's just take off all the synthetic sand, so I'm down to the bare wood. You can see the flute's closed. Draw that out, switch it off, and let's see what we're left with. There we go. There we go. We've got the green just filling the splits there. Now let me get the sanding sealer. We'll put a finish on top of that, and when you put a finish on, it's going to accentuate. There you go, the synthetic sand. So there's the splits that haven't been filled. They don't look good. They don't look good at all. And there are the splits that have been filled with the synthetic sander. It's so fine it'll pick up the finest of detail. And I think that the green looks good on this, the red looks good on that, the blue looks good on that, and you're accentuating what is already there. You're not hiding it. You're just being dead honest. And I think that looks really smart.
Okay, so I think that looks really good. One other product we have are the metallic powders as well. Let me see what we've got: copper, sparkle silver, silver, bronze, gold, gunmetal, and gold. What you need to do with these is to mix them with an epoxy. They work particularly well if you were to, for example, make a V cut into something, or a little square cut. You could sharpen an old parting tool to a very fine little, maybe a 16th or a 32nd wide. Make a little cut, fill it, and cut back, and do exactly the same process as this. And the powders work just as well. So you could have metallic or the colours, the actual colours themselves. So Craig, what do you reckon?
I had a great time this weekend. I want to thank you for having me down.
Hey, my pleasure, mate.
Enjoyed the workshop, had a ball. I think everything came out great.
It did. And yeah, just to thank you very much for a great range of products, mate.
I appreciate it.
Hey, see you later. See you down in
Take care.
Texas. Later, mate.